everybody, Jim here in the neighborhood of Hachioji in West Tokyo. A really cool area of the city, nice, bright, beautiful day. We are going to walk about 20 minutes from the station, go to a big hard-off complex, hopefully find a bunch of retro games. So we're going to enjoy a nice leisurely stroll on this beautiful sunny day. So let's go to Hard Off. Let's go. Finally, after a nice leisurely stroll through Hachioji, here we are at a eco town. So it's a whole big complex of book off, hobby off, hard off, liquor off. We might have a step in there a little later and get some of the old drinky. But anyway, we're going to head inside the hard off and do some game hunting. Hopefully I can find some pretty good stuff. So let's go.
PC エンジン版サラマンダ登場。
コナミ
Alright, getting started in this hard off with, right up front, the money case as we look inside. Actually, there's some Neo Geo and MSX games, including Dragon Quest, which is cool. And some of these pricier Mega Drive games, stuff in there. Good stuff, Zero Wing and Rent-A-Hero, all that. And then some of these Famicom games, TMNT and Rescue Rangers, with boxes, but the boxes are collapsed for whatever reason. But yeah, this is right up front. You can see these Super Famicom games, EDF, Dracula X. Yeah, this is the money case. They put the money beats right up front for everyone to see, including some Musehime-sama and Ghost Chaser Densei for over $300. And right here, Rendering Ranger with manual, about $1,400. And that's a lot of dough. Even Koryun back there on PC Engine. Great Battle 5, and the big one, Jesus. Magical Poppin' complete for about $2,000. So have fun with that. As we come up to this other case, that's not quite so drastic. How did that game get so pricey? But still over $300 for Samurai Pizza Cats. And then some less extreme stuff. Some of these Saturn games are like, $30, $40 games. But yeah, where have I been when a copy of Magical Poppin' is a couple $1,000? Yeah, that's a lot of money. But we have some cool stuff in this case. Valis, some of the Rockman games, Mother, things like that. These Rockman World games on Game Boy, those are pretty cool too. But yeah, some pretty expensive stuff, especially, for a hard off. But we got good stuff in this case. Gunspike, it's a fantastic game on the Dreamcast. I like it a lot. And we've got other good stuff in here. There's some PC Engine and Dreamcast stuff. There's Hellfire S, which is cool. Some Tengai Makyo. Pop Full Mail, which is awesome. Gate of Thunder, Spriggan, Ninja Spirit, and R-Type. So this is all cool. Nice stuff in these cases. Sokyu Gurentai, one of my favorite Saturn shooters. So that's nice. The Salamander Deluxe Pack. Bulk Slash, which actually got maybe a few months ago and really been enjoying that game. But we move on to a whole bunch of box Super Famicom games. I'm going to let you take a look while I take a few sips off of my beer I've got here. So check out these games. I'll be right back. Back at it again with some Goemon games, a whole bunch of them. I'm not even familiar with this one I have in my hand right here. Goemon 2 I've played quite a lot of and really enjoy that game, and the first Ganbare Goemon. But there's more. Yu Yu Hakusho 2, fun fighting game. Cosmo Gang the Puzzle, fun puzzle game. So these are some cool inexpensive Japan exclusive games, puzzlers, fighters, things like that. But yeah, just the amount of box Super Famicom games in here is kind of staggering. This one of the Konami pro wrestling games, sort of a quasi 3D kind of look to it. I've actually heard that that's a good one, so I'd be interested to give that a try. Did not pick it up today though. And then just this massive wall of loose cards there. Hokuto no Ken 5, which I believe is one of the RPGs. Almost all of the Hokuto no Ken games from that era are pretty bad. Samurai Spirits though, for like $10, and it's a complete copy, so that's good for that. Pretty good port of that game actually. And the Neketsu like Kunio-kun baseball game on the Super Famicom. Another one that I believe was exclusive to Japan. And it's pretty cool if you like those Kunio-kun sports games. As we come over, though, to this just massive wall of loose Super Famicom games. And later we'll be seeing a lot of loose Famicom games. And typically what you'll see here is lots of games that are, 300 yen on the low end, and then usually no more than like 1,000 yen or so. So you can come and grab games here for like $3, $5 a piece, and that's pretty cool. Some value for you. As we're looking at, Puyo Puyo and all the Marios and Final Fantasies you could ever want, including this Super Puyo Puyo, which is very nice. I believe this is what was converted into Kirby's Avalanche, if I'm not mistaken. Crayon Shin-Chan 2, which you have not played. I played the original Crayon Shin-Chan, and it was pretty fun. Isn't there a new one coming soon, I think, for the Switch, right? So that's kind of cool. And more. So yeah, from end to end, basically, this aisle has boxed games and loose games. The Mickey Tokyo Disney game is pretty cool. 500 yen. So like $5 for this game is not a bad deal, actually. And that's a pretty fun game. Again, that's another one that was exclusive to Japan. But you can pick it up for pretty cheap and have a lot of fun with it. One of these sort of like Gachapon Gundam games. I'm assuming one of the strategy games. I don't know anything about it, but they always have really attractive box art. And then just all these loose games just sort of scattered around. Good stuff, too. It's Yoshi's Island, Donkey Kong Country, Street Fighter, Chrono Trigger, Rockman X, Dragon Quest, Star Fox, just, Secret of Mana. Just all these great games just sort of haphazardly placed there. And then more good stuff. World Heroes, Yu Yu Hakusho, again, Chrono Trigger, no shortage of those. Ganbare Goemon again, loose. And that's nice. Most of those you can get for a few bucks. So that's good. Sonic Blast Man. Pretty good game. Sonic Blast Man 2 is the real expensive one, though. And Tetris Battle Gaiden. One of my favorite Super Famicom exclusives. Probably my favorite Tetris game. Really, really good. I can always recommend picking that one up. And Super Chinese World 3. Which, I've played a few of these Super Chinese games. And they've been pretty good. And Kunio's Dodgeball for the Super Famicom. And I don't recall if that one was released anywhere else either. But if it's Kunio and it's Dodgeball, it's good. And then these loose carts, but they've got these little locks on there. Which I don't know why. They're not really that much more valuable than the other ones. But we got like Poppin' Twinbee. And we've got Area 88, which is a fantastic game. Some Rockman X2, Castlevania 4, Puzzle Bobble, Popful Mail. Lots of good stuff here. Slightly more expensive games, but nothing too crazy. And a complete copy of Ganbare Goemon 3, which I actually still have not played yet. Like I said, I played a lot of Ganbare Goemon 2 recently, which is great. But I still need to try out the third game. Looks pretty good. As we move on to this case with Game Boys and Game & Watch, yeah, have a look around. I'm gonna sip a little more of this cold beverage, and we'll be right back. A whole bunch of Kunio-kun games put together. Neketsu Kakuto Densetsu, which is a pretty fun 2-on-2 fighter. And we have Downtown Special, which is like a feudal Japanese version of River City Ransom, and that's also really good. And then Neketsu Hockey Club, which is also just super fun, great sports game. All three of those games were exclusive to Japan, and I believe all three of them at this point have been featured on Import Game of the Day, because they're really good. So you can go and check all of those out. But again, like I said, lots of loose Famicom games, just end to end. There's Kunio, and there's Dragon Ball Z, there's your Marios, and just all kinds of stuff, including the original Kunio game, which is Renegade, I believe, in North America. But yeah, so lots of good stuff here, boxed, loose, whatever. Usual prices apply. It's kind of like 300 on the low end, like 1,000 yen or more. 1,000 to 1,500 on the high end for like the loose carts. The box games, though, those can be up to 20-something, 30-something bucks. Tiny Toon Adventures 2, which is it? It's not Wacky Land. It's there's like a theme park. It's got a theme park motif to it, and that's a pretty fun game as well. Konami always did Tiny Toons justice with their games, so I do like me some Tiny Toons, and hey, the cartoon as well. One of the best cartoons back in the day. Getting off school, going home, watching some Fox Kids. More of these games here where the boxes all folded up. DuckTales and Captain Tsubasa, even though there's one there where the box is intact. I don't know why they did that. Famicom Jump, pretty interesting game. It's like a little RPG where you go to the Jump world and you can team up with all the different heroes from popular manga back in the day. So there's like Goku and Kenshiro, and I believe Captain Tsubasa is in that one as well. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, lots more. Some of the stuff like super common, like the Final Fantasy games. There's always a ton of those. Dragon Quest. Well, there's other cool stuff there, like City Connection, which is fun, and Binary Land, and good things like that. Gegege no Kitaro, Bomb Jack, Salamander, with its very cool clear case. That's probably one of my favorite NES games is Life Force. Really great game. But this stuff is, it's kind of convenient when I come to pick up like loose carts and stuff. Lots of things can be found for like 300, 500 yen. And those are good for the Patreon boxes whenever I can get around to doing that. Been working a lot lately. But yeah, plenty of good stuff here. But it's nice, for like non-specific things. If you just want to grab, or even if you were just getting like a collection started, you just thought to yourself, you know what, I'd like to leave here with like 30 Famicom games. You can pick up stuff like Macross and Jajamaru-kun, Excite Bike, all this stuff, Adventure Island. You can just grab like, I don't know, a whole bunch for like 300 yen a piece and make out like a fat cat. And the original Hokuto no Ken, which was not released on the NES. I believe the NES game was actually Hokuto no Ken 2. So that first one, I guess, was exclusive to Japan. Not sure. And we have some Famicom disc games here, which I have to be honest, I'm not too familiar with the disc system library. I had a twin Famicom and left it at an ex-girlfriend's house, so you know what happened to that. So yeah, the Famicom disc library, not too familiar with it, as we come to another cool case of stuff. So yeah, let me back up again, get another shot off this beer, and you can check out this cool stuff. Power Glove, oh, that's cool. Some PC Engine, pretty sparse though. That's the thing about some of these hard-offs lately, especially some of the more popular ones. Oh, gotta mention the Cyber City Oedo 808. One of my favorite anime OVAs from back in the day. The game, not so great, but it's an awesome anime. But yeah, a lot of these more trafficked hard-offs, they're kind of sparse on things like this. East 3, fantastic game. A lot of this, you know, PC Engine, Mega Drive, all that ends up in glass cases. Fighting Street, not such a great game, but yeah, love it anyway. But yeah, when you go to the shelf, there's usually not going to be that much PC Engine, Mega Drive, Saturn, stuff like that. A lot of that ends up behind glass because those are just the big sort of collectors' consoles these days, I guess. Mega Drive, PC Engine. But yeah, basically all the non-Nintendo and non-Sony stuff is, I guess, more highly collectible. I don't know, but there's always a lot less of it. I mean, as you can see, we just looked at two aisles just overflowing with Famicom and Super Famicom. And you can take my word for it that there was a ton of PlayStation and PlayStation 2 as we look at Hokuto no Ken, aka the violent version of Last Battle. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, just aisles overflowing with games versus, you know, a handful of games on a shelf when you're talking about PC Engine, Mega Drive stuff. As we look on the other side of the aisle, a giant wall of PS1, which is another console where if you want to collect imports for it, you can walk into a hard-off like this with, like, I don't know, $100 and walk out with, like, I don't know, a bunch of games, like, you know, 20 games or something, because you can find cheap stuff as we look at, like, Tronbon and things like that. Some PlayStation games, you know, they're a little more rare, a little more elusive, so they're expensive, but if you're just looking for, you know, some fun games to play for cheap, you can get a lot on the PlayStation. This Chocobo collection right here. Nice and cheap. Got 3 games in it. Chocobo Racing, Chocobo Stallion, and Dungeon, I think. Or you can get a complete copy of Tekken 2 for $3, because who doesn't like Tekken 2? But yeah, PlayStation is another good console to get into for prospective import collectors. Because lots of games on it are really cheap, and especially like where the US or European counterpart is more expensive these days, you'll probably find it cheaper on the Japanese PlayStation. Star Gladiator, you know, $3. Can't go wrong with that. That's a fantastic game. Classic fighter by Capcom. And speaking of, Rival Schools for like $10. Which is nice. Actually, when I remember buying Rival Schools brand new from a Walmart for $10 when I was, 11 or 12 years old. And loving it. Became one of my favorite fighting games ever. So $10, well worth it. Some random Inuyasha game, R4. One of my favorite racers ever. It's $8. Pretty good for that. So yeah, you can see the difference. On one side of this aisle, a handful of PC Engine and Mega Drive games. The other side, tons of PS1 games. And then, you know, a little respectable little grouping of Dreamcast games. There's Project Justice, Shenmue, Guilty Gear X for $8 complete. And I believe this version, the Dreamcast version, was released only in Japan. So that's pretty cool. Speaking of cool, Cool Borders Burn. Which I like the Cool Borders games, but they were kind of obsolete as soon as SSX hit the scene. King of Fighters Dream Match 99. Which is a good candidate for my favorite King of Fighters. I think my favorite is still KOF 11. I really like that one, but Dream Match 99 is really good too, because it's basically just an updated version of 98. Which 98 is a lot of people's favorite as well. So yeah, we got all these Dreamcast games here. Bomber, I don't know what that is. Looks interesting though. Yeah, so we got some Dreamcast games here. It's always nice to flip through some good old DC games. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which you can't unlock all the characters on it now, because a bunch of them required like online points you had to earn in the game by playing online, which is obviously not an option anymore. So thanks, Capcom. I cannot unlock all the characters on my Dreamcast MVC2 now. And then Saturn, again, there's some cool stuff for the Saturn here. There's King of Fighters 96, all these Sakura Wars games, Fighters Megamix, and Puyo Puyo 2. Good, you know, good stuff, but, you know, super common stuff. Again, a lot of the more sought-after Saturn stuff, that's going to be under glass, as we saw earlier. There were a lot of really good Saturn games behind glass. But, you know, cool stuff here. Saturn version of Biohazard, which is a really good port of that game. And so on and so forth. Sega Saturn, which is one of my favorite consoles to collect for, but again, one of the more expensive to collect for. Warcraft 2, which I like a lot, was not a PC gamer at all back in the day, but my friend across the street, Dan, he was a PC gamer, and that was one of his favorite games, and I played it a lot. I really like Warcraft 2. Great game. Of course, you want to play as the orcs. Way more fun. Clockwork Knight. Really great platformer on the Saturn. And some other things I'm not too familiar with. And a ton of copies. Well, not a ton. Like 4 or 5 copies of Christmas Nights. Those are $5 a piece. And Vampire Hunter. And Ultraman. Some cool stuff. So yeah, some decent titles. Area 51, which is was a favorite, always a favorite at the movie theater, waiting for your movie to start. Go to that little lobby and play some Area 51. And then last but not least, we got an aisle with consoles and accessories, things like that, including this box Super Scope. Good condition too, and it's like $20. So that's nice. And more. Lots of fighting sticks here. And little oddities and things like that. Taiko drums. Some other things I'm not too familiar with. But yeah, lots of different variations of taiko drums. Some light guns. Some things to play Densha Dego with, apparently. Which I'm not exactly a Densha Dego guy. Cordless Handycam Station System. What the hell that is? You got me. I don't know. Maybe it's a recording device. I don't know. Well, obviously it's a recording device. It's a cam. And more consoles here, mostly like PlayStations and things like that. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this little portion of the video. So hey, let's get the hell out of here.
Alright, so that's it for the Hard Off here in Hachioji. It's really awesome. I've been here a few times before. It's always really nice coming in here. Tons of games. Prices are typically pretty good. Had a good look around. Got a big old bag of games right here. Some for myself and some for some other people. And I'd say overall it was a very successful day of game hunting. So now it's getting windy and cold and dark, and I am ready to get the hell out of here, get some warm food in me, and head back home with my big bag of games to play. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little game hunting trip, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.